Hey, what's up, guys? This is Alish, and welcome to the Refry Academy. I'm going to be going over BXQs and how to play over there, and let's get straight into it. So, typically how BXX work is you're either going to be going majority from con, or you're going to go majority from B main. And typically, for B main, you can do B main at any timing of the round. I think for con, I think it's a little bit harder to do this at the very beginning of the round. Obviously, it's possible, but I think it's easier for people to stuff on that part, but you should obviously have both. And at B main, how this typically wants to go is kind of in line with other maps, is you want to be giving as little sound cues, as little things flying in the air as possible. So some things will be on the fly, some things are going to be flying in the air, and what exactly should be. And what we usually do is we have this smoke that's usually on the fly, where you smoke, it's pretty much above this little grass thing. So you have one guy, and if you're doing this beginning of the round, middle of the round, end of the round, doesn't really matter. You're going to have 3 to 4 guys here. That's usually how it's going to go. If you have 4 guys here, 4 guys alive, you can do this easily. So one guy is going to be anti. Always need someone towards anti. You need one guy that's ready to throw the smoke, so you're always clearing these angles, making sure that they're not just randomly going to kill you, peeking towards jail on the left. And as soon as everyone's ready, it's going to be a 3, 2, 1. This guy's throwing his smoke on the fly. You're going to have one guy that's, you can either throw flashes through the window, kind of depends on where your palace smoke is. So the palace smoke, typically going to have this guy go here. You just aim in the middle at the top. You'll throw this smoke, and then throw a flash over, and then you're going to be going. This guy up close, like we said, is going to be smoking, and everything else after than that is extra. This is kind of how the pathing is going to go. You're going to want first guy to be running out with the flash and clearing all these angles and trying to get towards this pillar. That's pretty much the goal. Second guy, after he smokes, is usually going to want to come with him and getting these trades. Third guy, you want him to go towards this position, we call it jail. So you're running up here and you're trying to challenge and deal with the connector players. Fourth guy is usually not going to be in the play right now. He's usually going to be throwing whatever extra flashes you have on the exec, whether it's like throwing it through the window, or some teams they have the flash that's like landing here at this corner. There's a lot of different ways that you can formulate it, but the key is you're having 2 guys that are trading going towards this way, and how the CTs are going to be configured is they're either going to be playing double on this side, where they're going to be playing one guy at this pillar, one guy towards con, or it's going to be one guy con, one guy emo, or another thing that people do is they just have like this flash ready. It's actually at the sun, and as soon as they hear all these nits going off, they're going to flash and try to just peek after the flash is gone. So that's typically the second guy that's coming up here. He's just making sure nothing happens, turn, you can kill this guy. Or as the third player, as soon as you don't see anything, you can just play anti and then kill this guy afterwards. And after that, it pretty much can just go so many different ways, because it kind of just depends on how the CTs, some players are playing where they're playing to just like molly you as soon as this happens. And same kind of stuff as in the Inferno video is you need to have third guy put out the smoke if possible. Now for Anubis, you want to make sure that your second guy is trading and third guy is putting out the Molotov if possible. But you want to make sure that you're getting to this pillar, trading here, and then afterwards you kind of have to take more of this space if you don't have a molly. If you have a Molotov, that's great, because if you have a molly as a third guy especially, you can just molly off this pillar and you know that emo is clear. If you don't know it's clear, you either are forced to plant here, where your chances of success of winning the round are extremely low, or you try to just throw whatever utility you have, whether you're just throwing like flashes off this pillar after you get to this spot. You're like, okay, we have to clear him, flash the pillar, and let's try to just like clear this guy and get into these really strong afterplant positions, because this is a winning afterplant position. If you can get here into emo or into this corner, then you can win. If you let the CTs have this whole area, this whole area, this whole area, you're not going to win. It's actually just not even going to be possible, because the CTA players are going to be flanking con. Even if you were able to kill the con guys and get in here, you're not really in that secure of a round, and you want to make sure that you're taking this space. So just to reiterate, you want to throw this smoke on the fly, you want to throw this smoke in the air as you're going. This flash is going with everything at the same time. You can put it through the window, you can have flashes that are just going over. A lot of these flashes are actually just really strong. It's really hard for the CTs to not get blind from them, especially if they're in like their normal spots. Anything that's going over this door is going to be great. Anything through this window, through this right window specifically, is going to get this guy that's doing this flash here. So you can have different execs that are accounting for different things. The main goals is to give as little sound cues as possible, making sure that you are taking this control if you can. If you can't, you really need to make sure that you have at least con control, because I don't know, I think that you're in a tough spot. Like, I think that you would have to make something happen specifically. If you have to plant here, then I think that you would have to like do some crazy stuff where you're like flashing through towards street and just going crazy, because you're probably not going to win if you can't even clear this guy. So make it a goal to clear emo, make it a goal for the first two guys to get to this position and get good trades off here. And if you can kill this emo guy, make sure you get into this position in emo. Any re-smokes, I would say, should be Palace. I think it's very hard as CT if you can't get out Palace. And the reason why I am not saying towards Street is just because I think it's a lot easier as a CT if Palace is open, and all you need as a CT is just one flash. Just one flash that can get your teammates through that smoke, and it's not even like that deep, like one flash and you're through at this position already. And then you have the Palace guys that can trade as well. So that's why I'm kind of saying that I think re-smokes are stronger at Palace, because which one's harder to go through as a CT? Is it harder to go through this smoke, or is it harder to go through like a smoke like this? I think that this one's much harder as a Palace guy, because you have to run out so far. You have to be out to here, and that's such an easy kill. So if you're playing in the corner, you just kill, super easy. Now let's talk about if you're going to go majority through con. So if you're going majority through con, I would still always make sure that you have at least one guy be main, at least your lurker, because you want him to make sure that, first of all, that they're not B main. So you have to be playing pretty passive here, make sure that they're not gonna B pop on you, do any flash checks, and eventually I want this guy to smoke on the left. We call this snappy smoke, so I want you to eventually smoke snappy and just take good duels for yourself. So goal is to not let them push B main, don't die, eventually smoke on the left. That's the goal. If you have two guys, the second guy's role is pretty much the exact same, but now you can have a little bit more team play where you have one guy that's holding, and as soon as he's ready to throw the smoke, then he has someone that's at least anti-flash, and the second guy this whole time anti-flash from whichever position you prefer. You can be close to the wall, you can be over here, that's anti, as long as you're in some position based off of your teammates positioning where you're going to kill them if they flash exactly. And now talking about the guys that are majority going through con, typically this is going to be 3 people, and how this is usually going to work is you're going to do one guy that's throwing a flash, so he's going to be throwing this flash, so throwing this flash, and then afterwards you're throwing the smoke that goes Palace. So you just aim at the end of this little shrimp thing, jump, and then you're running through and making sure that they do not flank. So you're responsible for the flank, and you're also responsible for trades. And not talking about the first two guys, these guys are just getting close. You're usually not trying to make as many sound cues, because if you give it away, then they can just like molly on the outside, they can throw HEs, it's going to be a lot harder. You want to get into the smoke. Two guys are going here. First guy can just like swing to the left and just try to kill these guys. Second guy, I would say try to just like spam and then try to focus on this guy that's going to be peeking afterwards. You're going with the flash, and there are some other util sets that you could be doing here. So after you clear this position here, just remember they could always hide in this corner, so you actually have to be wary of this. Unless you go up to here, you can't really see him, but you can actually molly into emo from here. So make sure that you have the molly that goes into emo. This will make it a lot easier for you to get out. You can even throw a smoke Palace on the fly if you ever needed to, where you just throw it off of this little obelisk thing on the right. It's just not as ideal compared to some other smokes, especially the one that I showed from the back, because this one, as you can see, is a little bit puffier compared to if it gets into the corner. But just know that you have options. If you ever get stuck into E-box and you need to smoke Palace, then you can do this. It's actually very, very simple. And with the molly, it's actually a really good flash lineup as well, and you can come out with that. It's depending on where the CTs are playing, it can get more or less, kind of just depends, but typically CTs are going to be playing here, here, if they're not already in your direct vision, playing jail or at the pillar, etc. And same stuff that I was saying before with the B main priority is you need to make sure that you're coming out here and you're clearing towards emo. If you don't get this positioning, your life will be much harder. So make it a priority to clear as much as possible up to here, and any resmokes, again, resmoke Palace. Going back to the B main guys, make sure that one of you guys on the after plant stays B main. If you do not stay B main, then they can flank you from mid, because as the CT mid players, they will either be dropping down water at the same timing as the flash, and hopefully this third guy kills him. So he's going to flash, he's going to be wary of this guy window, whatever. But most mid players know that somebody's going to be looking at it. It's very difficult. So instead of dropping, they are typically going to be going B main, and this can just end your entire round if you don't win this fight. So you want to try to play like on the right side, or you could try playing a little bit more tucked, however you want to play. As long as you get the kill on the guy that's flanking, then your job is done, and you're an extremely strong after after plants, especially if you plant in the normal position here. You always want to be planting on this side as much as possible. You only plant here. We call this planting safe, but this is dire straits whenever you want to plant right here, because you can get wall banged. An op can always wall bang this, and it's not very fun. You can actually even get spammed. So let's just say somebody's playing here behind the smoke, and they hear you planting. As soon as you're done planting, they can just spam and just kill you if you try walking away. So it's extremely not fun to plant in that position. That's why I'm saying that you need to clear out emo, you need to clear out these spots, get into a better after plant. But if you really had to, then you can plant here. Just keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching the BXX for Anubis. Make sure that you follow these guidelines, and you're definitely going to have a lot more success in your games. And just remember that all these execs can always be slightly different with micros of flashes, of smokes, things you're going to cover off, molotovs, whatever. But just remember the basics of how you want to approach the site, what the protocols are, where you want to be for after plants, and you're going to have success. Thanks for watching.